watch out, watch out, watch out. I look good right now, good. Let me flex, money stretch, diamonds dancing now. Keep a million on my bank account. Yeah, I'm charging interest if I hold it down.
Back to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about something a little different. So, I've been really stressed out about my kids going back to school. Like, this pandemic has weighed everybody. Like, I know a lot of people I feel like I'm the only one stressed out. Like, that's how I feel. Like, and I live in Wisconsin, so they did a school board meeting where I live at, and they discussed what the things they want to do to reopen school. And the things that they discussed, I didn't like. Like, my baby, I'm supposed to send both of my babies, which one is ADHD, one is speech delay. So my little girl, she's speech delay. And my son, my oldest son, he's ADHD. They both is on the spectrum. So I took my daughter to school. Scratch that. I took my daughter to her doctor, and I expressed the concerns I had about my daughter. And I told her, like, I'm at a hard place. Like, I don't know for sure that I want to put my baby in school. She is even asthma prone. She has asthma. So her doctor was saying that because she's speech delayed, she has to have that interaction with other people because she's speech. But because she has asthma, that they started her on steroids. Well, she was already before that I stopped giving her medicine that was prescribed for her for asthma because she wasn't having no symptoms. But she's been going back to daycare and she's been getting sick. So she's been getting a cough again, and that's what causes her asthma, is coughing. So she told me that she want her to be back on her medicine, which has steroids in it, and she want her back on it just in case she do get COVID, that she will have a barrier or extra protection, for her, because it's respiratory. So my son has been out of school too. He only has ADHD, but it's been bad. Like, the things that he went through and stuff like that, I'm just not going to say it because that's my son's. I just want the privacy of my son, so I'm not going to express everything he went through. I mean, maybe I'll think about it one day and talk about it, but my son, last year, he was on virtual learning, and it just tore him to pieces. Like, it tore me to pieces because I was getting angry with him, and he was acting like he didn't know nothing, and it was just, like, really terrible. And, as ADHD, they can take medication. Yes, he is on a medication. So we were still trying to figure out medications, and long story short, that 9 out of 10, the medication that he was on was making his ADHD worse. One of his symptoms, which I won't talk about, made it even worse because he has specific depressive disorder, and so it made his depression even worse. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm at a standstill. This board meeting yesterday was saying that they want the kids, if you want the kids to go, okay, so let's rewind. So, first of all, it's e-achieve, which I didn't know nothing about. It's just like regular homeschooling. It's virtual learning, what they did last year. and it's face to face. So they trying to do all three, right? So face to face is that what the expectations are, that the kids got to wear a mask and they got to wear face shields, and they have to have plastic, like the plastic, what they say, plexiglass, but it's really like plastic around their desk to separate the other kids. And I'm just like, what? Like, did you say what? And then they said that that the kids cannot interact with other kids. So that's limiting group time. That's limiting. I'm so stressed, you guys. I'm like irritated, like with the whole situation. Like, I get it. We in a pandemic. I get it because my daughter's asthma prone, but then she's speech delay. Like, I'm just so at a standstill with this. Like, I don't know. And then they was saying that the teachers will have the same thing, but the kids won't have. They don't want the kids to have any interaction. Well, they do want them to have interaction, but they don't. They want to keep them as far as possible. And how can you do that with kids? That's the whole purpose of sending them to school, is so they can get interaction with other kids. That's how they learn, when they see other kids. Like, I'm just at the point, like, should I even send my kids to school? Like, I'm just so terrified of the whole thing. Like, why should I traumatize my kids, sending them to school with a mask plus a shield on top of them, so they won't, and then have plastic around their desk, and then tell them to sit there for 8 hours? I can't do that to my kids. Like, I'm a mother first. I think about my kids' feelings. Like, my daughter, she was getting ready today because she wanted to go to school. You know what I mean? She likes to go to school. But I can't have her. She barely wants to use her mask when we go to the store. And, I know she's asthma. And it was like, well, you can get a doctor note to say that it's okay for them to not have a mask on if they're asthma prone and this and that. But I'm just like, why? So I can say, no, she don't need a mask. But then she could be more, she could get it faster than the other kids now because she don't have a mask on. Like, I'm just to the point, like, if you got to do all that situation just have the kids stay home. Like, if they're going to be behind, they're going to have to just be behind. Like, we cannot control this COVID stuff. And I know a lot of people's like, oh my God, the flu kills more people. But the thing is about COVID, they don't know how. Each person is different. They don't know what the expectations are. Who's going to get it? Who's going to die from it? What is the damage, the long term? That's the thing. They can expect what happens with, the flu and stuff. But COVID, they don't know. They don't know. And I'm just at the point, like, now I'm at the point, like, I have to quit my job, order for my kids to go to school. To do online learning, because I do bus driving. So if I don't send my daughter to school, what is the point of me going to do bus driving? Like, does that make any sense? Make that make any sense? You know what I mean? So I'm just like at the point, like, I don't know, maybe everybody else is doing virtual learning and Wisconsin is the only one that's like, oh, we're going to do guinea pigs. That's how I feel. Like, I feel like they're using our kids as guinea pigs instead of telling them, no, let's not do school. Let's just cancel it all together. And maybe next semester we'll come back. You know what I mean? I know the kids is going to be behind, but we can work on that when they get back. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing we can do to stop the spread, but you want to take the kids to school and teach them about COVID and tell them they have to sit in their desk for 8 hours. That won't work. That's not gonna work for my kids. They barely, especially an ADHD kid, like, he can barely sit still as it is. That's why he ADHD. Like, does that make any sense? Like, I'd rather do the virtual learning and just have him do 1 page a day and have him be behind than ever saying that he has to force to sit in a desk by 8 hours a day. Like, no, I would never do that to my baby. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm at the point now that I could care less about everything. My kids comes first. Like, I listen to the what is that called? Charlemagne and them. And he did say, like, you think about your kids, you are the protector. You want to protect your kids from the COVID, but going to work to pay the bills is part of that protection. Like, how can we say my kids is not going to school, but then that means that we have to quit our jobs, but then we don't have that other protection? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like, I'm at the point I can't keep allowing myself to be so stressed out about this situation. I don't want my son to be on virtual learning because that it hinders him too. But I refuse to have my baby sit in a desk all day. Both of my babies sit in a desk all day and just listen to a teacher and don't have that much interaction. The only interactions they have with each other is outside. But then you're going to try to teach them 4 feet apart. Like, come on now. Like, we adults, we can do that. We understand that. Kids, even teenagers, teenagers understand a lot more, but kids definitely don't get it. They don't know. I take my daughter to the store and she just running. You know what I mean? Because she don't know. You telling this 4-year-old to keep her mask on. She's speech delayed. She needs to see people talk. You know what I mean? She needs to see how you're talking. But then you're going to put a mask on her and a face shield. And you're going to put plexiglass around her desk. I just can't. Like, wow, we got it. And then, okay, another thing too. That, okay, as being the bus driver, I have to clean my bus every route with bleach. And that, I'm not worried about that, you know what I mean, with the pressure. That's fine and all. But then you got to do it in here with the kids. Spray stuff down. And then if a kid has COVID, now you got to spray it. Just cancel it. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, how everything is going. This pandemic is really not our fault. We shouldn't have to punish our kids because of this pandemic. Yeah, we punish the kids somewhat by not taking them to school or they being behind, but I'd rather for them to be behind than deal with all that. You don't know how traumatizing that is for a kid to even wear a mask in the store. Now you're going to try to put face shields on them and plastic around their desk, plexiglass around their desk, and then tell the kids they only could be 4 feet apart. Like, come on now. And then they got to eat at the desk. I don't know. I'm really like, not for this in my, like, this world is coming. I don't know what it is. My mom always said it's coming to the end, and it looks like it's coming. Like, this is ridiculous. You know, I shouldn't have to have my kids feel like they're a guinea pig just for them to get that one-on-one action. That's not fair to them. We're treating them like guinea pigs. Everybody, okay. So where the county I live in Wisconsin, but I'm in a different county. Our county is the last one I feel like to decide that, you know, if they're going to do virtual or go to school. They lean into person to person. I don't get it. Like, you know, person to person action. But everybody around us, the counties around us, are already doing virtual. They already announced it. They're not going back to school, but our county wants to be taking our kids as guinea pigs. Like, they didn't decide yet, but come on now. They've been decided that they're doing virtual. But Waukesha, that's where I stay at, don't want to, they don't want to do, they don't want to be, I don't know, I'm just tired of it. Like, come on now. Do your job. Like, think about everything. Like, does that make any sense to traumatize our kids? And then poor high schoolers only can, they have to carry all their books all day and only can go to the locker one time a day. Like, come on now. That's sad. Or they have to sit in the classroom and let the teachers come in and out. That's too much. Like, y'all doing too much. Just cancel it. Like, for real. Why do we have to traumatize kids like that? I'm at the point, I don't know what to do, you guys. Like, the stress is like eating me up. And I don't know why. Because I'm just like, I don't know. I'm over it. I'll come back on here to tell y'all what's going on in my county. But till then, deuces, everybody. I mean, pray for me and my family. I'm definitely going to pray for myself because this stress, I have PT, I have postpartum depression. And it's really eating at me now. Like, I can't do it. But, alright, I got to get out of here. Deuces.